Are we on?
I'm answering an email. Let me refresh. Does you're on and you're mirrored in all, like in your infinity and beyond.
Okay. Hello, interwebs world and a small crowd in the room today.
Woo!
Welcome to the first Sherpa show of 2017. And we're at Stratford High School today with Miss Becky Singley, who teaches English, 3-4 literature, AP, she's jack of all trades, and one of our It's Learning champions and power users. And she has twisted the arm of, tell me your name again? Paul Prince, who is from HISD, who is a sister district who is using It's Learning. So he may also be a power user, and we just don't even realize it, but we'll find out today. So Becky was telling us, and we made her stop, about some things that she's doing in her courses. So do you want to drive this? Sure. Drive it and tell us a little bit about what you're doing.
Do you have my, is it over here?
You're right. This is English 4 AP.
You're just in as Crystal, but it's your
I gotcha.
course.
Oh, so I'm seeing it like.
Oh, it's the little one.
Oh, okay, sorry. It's not working now. Okay, so this is the second semester I've been using it, and It's Learning, that is. And what I found is it's really allowing the kids to kind of take charge of their learning, and it's also become a place where they can go to instead of asking me the same thing 10,000 times.
Yay.
I've told them, in fact, this at the beginning of this semester, I've told them that if they send me reminds or they send me emails saying, when is this due, or what was this or that can actually be found on the It's Learning page for the class, I'm going to just send them that emoticon that has the 2 eyes with the flat line for the mouth. And so they laughed, but I was serious. So I've actually already done that a couple of times. So I park a lot of things here.
I might have signed up for the wrong course. If you'll go to
Yeah, I think that's...
the teeny It's tab.
Okay, yeah, that's, I'm like, I've lost my calendar. Okay.
Find the right one and then hit enroll.
Okay. Let me go back.
Maybe it was on the first page.
Mercy. There it is. That's what I, oh shoot. I hit the wrong button.
There we go.
Okay, will this work, or do I need to go back in through the other page? It'll work? Okay, so anyway, as you can see, I'm going to collapse this so you can tell what is going on this one page. So I have several different things. For example, today I rolled out a new project the kids will be working on where they're committing to basically teach a literary term. And so I parked my sign-up sheets here. For the first 2 classes I taught today, I'll add the other 2 tomorrow when I teach them. But these are just links to Google Documents. I push Google pretty hard with my kids. Don't require it, but I strongly suggest it and remind them that when they go off to college, a lot of what they'll do will be online, so this is just a good practice for that. And also because Google is in the cloud, so if your computer dies and you find yourself at the Apple Store at 9 o'clock at night and the essay's due at 12 o'clock, not a worry, because you can get to it through any computer that's hooked up to the internet. So I try to really push that and model that for them as well. So anyway, these are sign-up sheets, just a hot link to the actual Google sheet itself. I've got my calendar parked here, which ties into don't ask me when something's due, because it's right there for you. I've got some QR codes I've parked here as well for the kids. Sometimes they'll want to get to it on their phone, and they can go through the QR code for It's Learning. And then I also have some books in my classroom that they are able to check out for a comparative lit analysis essay they're writing right now. And so I've set up a QR code that links to a Google form, and they can go there, sign up to take a book out, no big deal. They take it out, when they bring it back, it's there. And then, as I said, they're going to do a comparative lit analysis essay. And so I've linked some suggested resources for them if they're trying to figure out a book. And then I also have a slideshow I use to look at some of the content that I've taught recently. that's parked right here. So I try to keep just kind of the reference things on the main splash page, and then anything that requires an activity of sorts, I put over in the tree. And so as you can see, it's over here to the left. And so what I've done right now is I've set up folders for what we're doing, and I have other resources, like if they're not here, I put all handouts here under while you were out. But then I have all things complete essay. So right now this is stuff that I've set up. Last semester, towards the end of the semester, the kids actually submitted videos they created to an assignment that I set up for them in itslearning. So that was lovely because there was no paper involved. They just submitted it straight into the assignment, and it let me know when they turned it in. So it was pretty neat. And then we watched the videos they created. But in this case, I've set up some resources for them. So these are all just pages. And so I've created a table for them, as you can see. I also have a little video I made to show them how to access the MLA formatted document in Google. It took maybe not 10 seconds, probably took about 3 minutes to do, but it was extremely easy to embed back into this. And then I have the models. I've told my kids I write along with them, so as they're writing their complete essays, I'm writing one too. So this is where I'm going to be parking all the models I create to show them just to give them some ideas about what it should look like. And then also Turnitin is lovely. If you use Turnitin now, you can just set up the actual submission inside itslearning, so you don't have to go log in and put in your code and figure out the class. It's all right there for them. So I set up an initial plan for them. They had to submit an initial plan today to tell me what book they're going to read. And so this is where they're going to submit it. And this was not required, but as time goes on and they do have some required Turnitin submissions, everything's going to go right here under Turnitin. So it's all in one place, one-stop shop. It's really, really easy. But what I did today is I set up a folder for the literary term slideshow, which is that sign-up sheet I was speaking about a minute ago. And the thing that's really cool is in years past when I've set up the Google slideshow, they've all been able, like if they were in my third period, they could go look what the fifth period did and basically copy what they did. So I don't want that. I want them to actually think for themselves. So to remove one possibility for them, what I've done is I've gone in and set these up with permissions. Do you want me to actually show how to do that, or just talk about it? Okay, it's really quite easy. So, actually, before I do that, one of the things you can do in itslearning is if you go to participants, if you go to groups. Now, I've gone in and actually set my kids up and renamed the groups, but if I go to participants, you'll notice every kid that I teach for this particular course is enrolled in this class. So I have 150 kids, they're all in there. If I go to groups, it actually puts them into groups based upon the class, the section of the class they're assigned to. I've changed this to a different name. I've named it actually second period. And all I did was just go in and hit change group title, and you'll see it makes that live, and I just retype it and hit save. So I put them in groups. That's all you have to do. Pull down to here, back where I was earlier, and so for example, for my second period, I've set up a Google slideshow for them to use. And I've just set up the template or the shell. What I did is as I said earlier, I don't want my third period or my fifth period or sixth period kids taking a look at what my second period kids are doing. I want them to actually do their work on their own. And so what I did is, if you come up here to the 3 little dots and hover, you'll see it says permissions. If I click permissions, I can go in and actually set up who can see it, who can work in it, who can do everything. I figured out that it's easiest just to go into view a detailed overview, this very last one, and click give extra permissions. And then in one screen I can go in and say, okay, I want them to be able to participate and to edit. I'm not going to give them full control, right? I don't want to do that. I didn't think so. And then click next. And then I'm going to say which one I want, which class or which group, in this case, that I want to have access. So I click second period because this is my second period, and hit add, and then hit complete. And so now, they can only my kids are enrolled in my second period class can actually see this particular slideshow. So, it seems like a really easy way to go, and I think it's going to work, I think. I've had kids in there already. So, that's just kind of a snippet of itslearning. But I love it. It's wonderful.
So if you were trying to help another teacher get started, what would be like an easy entree? Like, how did you get started, or what was the first thing you did, or?
I think probably the very easiest thing to do would just to start on your course dashboard. Don't worry about the tree yet. The tree will come. The tree will grow later. Just using a metaphor there because I'm an English teacher. But I think just adding in things over in this section, because what I found is generally everything you do in here is a permutation of about 2 different or maybe 3 different actions. And you just, it's once you get playing with it, it's not hard, and you can't mess it up. If you mess it up, just hit the little X button and it goes away and it's no big deal. I would advise people to create a sandbox course if they get really nervous, because the one thing about this is, as you probably said, it's a mirrored platform, so whatever I do, my kids will see. So if I put something goofy on here, any kid who happens to be in my It's Learning page at that moment is going to see that goofiness. But it's literally just add a content block, and I can go in, I pick out what I want to do. Oh, do I get that because of you?
No, but I can show you how to get it.
Ooh, okay. Oh, yes, I do want that. So generally, everything I've figured, based on what y'all have told me, but also you can do generally 75% of what you need to do by just choosing the rich content block. That's pretty much will do most of what you need to do. You've got I'm doing this more for the people that are watching, the link, inserting a table. Don't really use smileys, but I guess you could. A tree link, which links over to that tree. I use embed a ton, and we found out through trial and error that you don't have to use the embed code. You can just use the hyperlink, or use the web page. I didn't know that. One of my kids was like,
This embed tool?
yeah.
Yes, it'll
Well,
actually pull any embedded content off of it's supposed to be off of any page, so if it was a thing link or a voice thread or anything, it's supposed to be able to pull
It'll
that
pull it.
and embed it.
Cool. Well, it's interesting, Karen, because you asked me how I did, and honestly, I'd say probably 50% of what I've learned is the kids. You know, they'll get in there and fiddle around in terms of like their submissions and stuff, and they'll go, well, no, here's what, and I tell them, I don't see exactly what you see. Your experience is different than mine in this, so when something doesn't work or you think I could do it differently, tell me and I'll change it. That's fine. For me, it's all about the end user, so if they tell me this is really cumbersome, why don't you do it a different way? That's fine. I'll figure it out. So, but it really is, it's such an easy platform once you get playing with it.
So, you're in your second semester course and you have all the same blocks from before. So can you talk about how that happened? So did you remake all of your blocks? Did you copy and paste? How did you?
Well, I didn't have these blocks. A lot of these blocks are new.
Okay.
The calendar's pretty much the one thing that I carried over, and I really just did another embed code. I know you can go in and you can copy from courses, and I haven't really had a need because most of I tried, like my dashboard, this area right here, I try to keep current with whatever's going on in class at the time. So that's kind of where I park the new content. I will say Karen, you asked about getting started with it. The planner tool in this, once you play with it a bit, is actually a very, very useful tool. And at Stratford, that's one of the things that as a campus we've done this year, is that teachers are being asked to do their team planning in It's Learning through the planner. So like my English 3 course, I can show you that one. I think we added it. I know you did. Yeah, I know I saw it in there. Or maybe not. Maybe I'm... Oops, sorry.
Go over at the top of more.
Why am I not finding more?
That's next to calendar. Up a little bit.
Oh, duh, sorry.
And then admin and users. Then type in your last name. Scroll down, then hit the pencil. And then community
Oh, up at the top.
Over to the right, there you go.
And then, there we are. Okay, so let me show you. Enroll. I can't remember why I was going here though.
Oh, you're showing us your collaborative.
Oh, yeah. Okay, I picked the wrong one. This is actually my English 3 grade level, which is slowly loading. There it is. Huh, okay, there it is. I don't know why that's doing that, but that's not the one I actually wanted to show you.
Go back.
Let me scroll down. Oh, I'm so dumb. Yes, it is. That's the one I want.
Hi.
Oh my goodness. I just realized what I need to do. Sorry. Nothing like listening to somebody
What in it is it?
putter along. Okay, I was going to show you the planner. So, it's over in the tree, obviously. It's also on your dashboard, but I think I moved it down to the bottom. So the thing I like about the planner is that you can modify it to fit your needs. So, for example, the default planner has like hour in there. Like the hour, we don't need that because it doesn't make any sense. So you can actually go in and modify your planner under planner settings and take that column out. It's really, really easy. But the thing I like about this is that once you get it set the way you want it, sorry, I keep scrolling around, everything is basically just a click, and if you hover, it will tell you what to do. So if I wanted to change that, obviously click to edit. The date, I can go in and actually set the calendar by the date, or if I did date and time, which I don't do. And then just one place I can put in the learning, and then these are all resources that I use to teach with, so instead of going all over my computer trying to figure out where I stuck them, it's all parked on my planner. So today when I came in to class and was getting ready to teach, I just went to my planner, opened these up, and they're ready to go. And then finally, any resources I want to use as well. The other thing is you can embed assignments through here for the kids to actually pick up and use, which is really cool. I think that's what this
So
is.
do you have your kids going through the planner to get to their things, or do you have them individually? Or whatever's easiest?
Not yet, but that's coming when the new Chromebooks come, and I have devices for all my kids, or have access for them. That's going to be a game changer. My English class, my English 3 kiddos, I have a significant refugee population, so they don't actually have the devices that they don't have any devices, and so they can use what I have, my mini Dells, but when I get the Chromebooks, that's going to be a big deal.
So if you'll go back to your planner,
Okay.
I just wanted to just to highlight that some of those text boxes are available as rich text. So if you look into the learning, see how there's a pencil with a box next to it? If you click that, it will open the rich text editor. So you can actually put video instructions or video messages or voice messages
Shut up.
here.
Okay.
Which is great for you, but when you get down, especially in younger grades, where they can actually hot link a picture in there to take the kids to something, or they can put a video and say, this is what we're going to be doing in this station or in this lesson today. So it really does become, because it's hard, I think the more you get in the tree, it's harder for kids to navigate the tree.
Yeah.
So this becomes a nice way of navigating and communicating with the kids. So the rich text editor, again, like she was saying with the rich text box, this thing is just
That is
amazing.
awesome.
And you can share that planner anonymously so that parents can get to it without requiring any credentials, which I use. So I link to it through my website on Stratford High School.
Oh, okay.
So parents and children can go hit the hyperlink and it takes them to the anonymous share. And it shows you everything that you can't download any resources. You can see that there's a resource present, but you can't actually
get to
look
it.
at But it's great. I direct parents to that, parents on it. And I'm sure you keep parents at least are really look at it.
Yeah. Yeah, Paul's like the guru. He's done this for
Excellent.
He's probably sitting there going, yawn.
No, I don't use the dashboard very much at all. I just use the planner and pretty few kids know how to get to the planner and the resources if they need. I don't use the dashboard.
Well, and the one thing about, that when we started this at Stratford, is that when you add to the tree, or when you go through the planner, it adds to the tree. So you're immediately populating your tree. You don't have to do it in two places. But on the flip side, our AP, we don't plan as much in the planner because it's just a different kind of course. So most of what we do is we just start in the tree and just plan in the tree versus going through this planner itself, because it just doesn't lend itself as well. But we still have
I think if you have things that are kept up all of the time, like that's kind of how I see the differences. If it's something that I want the kids to get to all the time, then just making a folder in the tree that sits there like a resources folder.
Yeah.
Because it could get, I haven't been in enough or seen enough courses that are built out where how cumbersome does the planner get after a while, or do you really open and close things and make sure that plan then is gone?
You mean like deactivate it?
No, just using the dates in the planner. Do you just kind of try to keep it clean that way, or do you just open it and keep it open all the time?
I'm not sure.
So, I'm just thinking, as you continue to build plans, like your planner then just becomes
Really, really long.
hard to navigate also, because it gets longer and longer and longer. Do you personally use the dates more?
The planner can be done by a topic or by a unit. I do it by days. So each plan is a day. And I put in the plan, here's what we're doing for the day, here are the resources for the day, here are the activities for that day. So it just stays in order. Just older days just roll. And when someone is visiting the planner, you can ask, just show me what's upcoming.
Right,
Just show me
see?
the first 2 weeks. Show me everything. So it kind of keeps itself clean.
So you use this feature like just, I wanna see all upcoming.
Right.
Or past two, so you use the filtering to actually see what you want.
Right. And then
Yeah,
the
so if
plan
I-
name is just a date.
If I go to this
Oh,
week,
Or
okay.
the unit name
Right.
is just a date.
see, it doesn't. There's nothing. Oh, wait, there it is, because it's this week.
And I prefer using the table, the list view over the table.
Do you?
Yeah.
Yeah, Karen likes the list. I like.
See, I like the table because I can just kind of, but I use it differently than you. I'm sorry, I cut you off.
No,
I think I tend to drive more, or my kids I've taught them more to go to the tree. So like one of my goals for this semester is once my grade level kiddos settle on the numbers, more than anything, it's not the kids, it's just, I know that I have
Right.
kind of a set group of people. I'm going to set up, I want to set them up in groups based upon language level, because some of the kids I have really are just now acquiring basic English. So I want, but they still have to learn the content that we're doing, so I can modify the text that they work on analyzing just to make it a more approachable level, but they're still looking for this, doing the same things everyone else is doing. We're all doing the same things, but I can differentiate the text and I can modify the way that they approach that text. So, and I talked with you about this, Crystal, doing, you showed me how to just set up the groups. So that's one of the things I want to do this semester, is really get a good handle on putting kids into groups and then using those group settings to really differentiate within its learning for the kids. So,
Paul, we've had lots of discussion about pages versus notes.
Okay.
So, where do you fall on the spectrum? When you're creating content, do you create pages? Do you create notes?
I tend to, the resources are generally things I create separate
Okay.
and then attach as a resource in the planner, so that then they open it, it's either a Google document, a Word document, or a presentation, or it might be URLs to videos. So it all takes kind of, the way I use it, it takes you out of the program. Like I said, that's why I'm really interested in what you were doing with your rich text format items in the dashboard. That's what I'm not doing. But that intrigues me and makes me want to do that kind of.
So,
But I have the same issue that she has, is that a lot of freshmen, even in pre-AP, don't think about Top Chef. I don't know if the parents have decided it's not time yet, then grade level, some of them are on phones. So it's really hard to rely on this as much as I would like to, and as much as I was doing at HISD, where everybody had laptop.
Yeah.
all the
We went
time.
1-to-1.
Yeah, HISD has that Power Up program.
Game
So
changer.
every high school student in HISD goes to school with a laptop. And what's surprising is that they don't get lost and broken as much as you think.
No, I think they get to rely on it.
That's true. You need it for learning.
And I guess since everyone has one, no one's trying to steal it.
Right?
So why don't you talk about the difference between pages and notes? Since you brought that up.
Okay, well,
You mean pages like in the tree?
yes.
Yeah, so you can create notes or you can create pages. And so,
I'll go to a course that I've built and been playing with. So we are kind of playing with how can we get digital leadership into the hands of the kids. So this will be good because you'll be able to look and see kind of what I've built. So I started with 12th grade just because I thought that might be an easy entry point. And we use Common Sense Media, so I didn't write this lesson plan. But I just kind of took it from a flat teacher-led lesson and tried to put it here where either we'll enroll the kids or teachers can grab this lesson for their kids to do. So I used both things. I used the note, which you can see. I love the new icons, by the way. It's so much easier to see what everything is. Yeah, they are slicker looking. Way to go, It's Learning. You finally made a change we're on board with. Yay! So the one that looks like a little legal pad is a note, and then the one that looks more like what you'd think a web page would look like is a page. So for the warm-up, for me, a note is very linear. So this was just warming them up. There's not a bunch of different things happening, so I used the note. I just put in a little image. It's about perspective, and then just added a little bit for them to think about as they were going to then move through. And I did. I built this through the planner. So if we go into the planner, in this one we can see, oops. Here it is. So here's our plan, the description, here's our objectives. It's tied to the ISTE standards. And then I've got my instructions and resources. And you can see I have a lot more in my planner than what Becky had in her planner because the planner is highly customizable. So you can put in all of this, different things, or you can take them out. And then I have the resources. And then way over, I don't know why I can't see it, would be the activities. So then for the first piece was to learn about the different characters in this film clip that they're going to be watching. So I used a page for that because I thought this was kind of more visually appealing than just putting each character's picture in a straight line.
Yay, page!
So I put the page.
I think you can make pages very pretty.
Yes.
You can have a wide left and a little. So when I build, I mean, in this case, it wouldn't make sense, but a lot of times when I build, I put all the required content over on the left.
Right.
And then in the little sidebar that's on the right would be additional resources or optional activities.
I actually had the wide left, and then someone I had editing it was like, why do you have all the guys on the right in the skinny? And I hadn't even realized it. She said, are the women more important characters? And I didn't even realize that I'd had the men all, a Freudian slip, I
Well,
suppose.
and you know, not to,
So,
it occurs to me too with it's just hit me with the pages, with the color coding, that could be a
Yes.
point of differentiation.
yes.
Yes.
So, like with the group thing that I really want to try to do, maybe I don't quite get there yet, but I could say, okay, you know, I need you to work from the green or whatever.
So I always feel like a page is, if you need multiple
Lots of
talk points
Yeah.
in one area as opposed to a note. Like a note, really, you could just set up a note and give kids permission to edit it, and then they could be keeping running notes in class of something. Or since the note is a rich text editor, they could be recording the class while you're doing it or whatever. So to me, it's just that a note is really linear. I want you to go straight down the page and see this in a certain fashion, whereas the page would be where you have multiple things going on. So this one, they're actually going to watch the video clip. So here's your overview, and see I kind of just started a color pattern here. Red is stop and read me first, and then blue is just, okay, here's, and it's just wonky because of the resolution, but here's the clip, and then here are the things that I want them to think about as they're moving through. So what I just kind of copied, and then the what's next is always green. Go to the next thing. So, I mean, I go back and forth between the two of them, but I hear it seems in the community that some people are very page oriented and some people are very note oriented. So I just wondered if anybody else had opinions on that.
I haven't used the note, honestly. I don't know why. I guess it never.
Right.
I typically use folders. Generally, if I'm going to be in the tree, I'm using a folder and a page. Typically, unless it's like I've noticed you've got discussion up there, or if it's a specific, like when I did the assignments when they submitted their videos that they made. So I typically go more that route. But now that you talk about the notes, I like the fact that it's linear. I mean, that makes sense. That you would something
Right.
into more, step 1, step 2, step 3
Yes.
is going to be more linear in nature, and you can get. I like that better than. I don't know what the other option. Now that I talk about this, I don't know what I use other than pages.
Probably just pages.
Yeah, but I use.
Or you're just putting
Maybe I'm just
links to
embedding
things that
those,
you've
yeah.
made.
Spreadsheets.
I think that's
Right.
what I'm going to do.
So,
Yeah.
I rely on that more. I think I should run it.
Paul, you're using, since you've been using the planner for a while and you're using it for everything, the fact that everything just comes in the order that you put it into the planner, have you found that the kids don't necessarily know what to click on first or second? Or or you're doing it by day, so.
Yeah, it's very linear
Right.
by time, and my topics are all just the cycle. Cycle 4 is my topic.
Okay.
Each day in the cycle is a different plan.
And so, but if you have multiple resources here, how do you get the kids to go to the resource?
Most of the kids really don't. This is still more of a tool for me. They have
Okay.
access. They know how to get to it. They know that I'm still hitting on paper copies.
Right.
In all my classes, because that's the one thing that's universal.
Mm-hmm.
Doesn't matter if they have a computer or not.
Right.
So it's really kind of backup right now in planning.
So
I'd love to
as,
use it more and have it up during class as I'm going through things, and that's not the case right now.
right. So, just,
Like last year, it was always up in the classroom. Always.
right. And,
So use it more.
and HISD had some courses built for y'all? Or did you build it?
No.
Yeah.
That was my first exposure to this actually.
So,
Before that, I was Black Lewis University student.
the other nice thing, and I'm just talking to the world in general now, about this, and it doesn't seem like, Becky, you didn't move a bunch of stuff from one semester to the next
No.
semester.
I mean, I could, and I did copy
And
something,
hold it
and
either.
honestly, I can't remember what it was that I copied now. But I typically, in past years, I've been the big Weebly fan.
Mm-hmm.
So I committed to using itslearning in place of the Weebly, so that's kind of more along the lines of how I use it now.
Mm-hmm.
The pages of my Weebly are now in my tree as pages, which is, now that I've talked about this, I'm realizing why I use the pages as much. So I guess what I'm getting at is I don't, other than the calendar, not a whole lot moved, because it's an active document. If you think
Right.
about my itslearning page like that, it's active, and then as we finish a unit, I just archive it, scooch it over into a folder, and then, if I pull, like, for example, the critical lenses that I taught this week, that you can analyze literature through, that's not gonna need to stay on my main page for probably, another couple of weeks. Once
Right.
the kids get in and really hit the analysis hard and commit to what they're gonna analyze through, I'll move that over into one of the folders on the left-hand side that says, there's one over there that says all things analysis, or let's get analyzing, or something like that. Now, that's actually from the first semester. I did copy that over, because it's just stuff I want
So
them to
things
have
that they need
access to as a reference.
So, probably different districts do it different ways, but our district does. Spring and fall semesters are separate courses in its learning. So there are some teachers who are using it to put in review material or for the kids to go back and review. So they wanted to be able to copy everything over from first semester to second semester. So really quick, if you're using the planner, it really is easy to do that. I think it's easier using the planner because you just click the plans that you want, or you can actually do the whole planner at one time. But if I want to copy this plan, I can just click it and go over here to copy and just copy it into any course that I have options for, that I have rights to. So I can get that all that stuff that's archived and put it in a course. But I'm also thinking that the kids probably can see archived courses because they're still enrolled in those courses. So as long as they're still enrolled in that course, they can go to their course list, just like their view would be similar to this, and they should be able to go to show and go to show all. And in fact, I mean, if you didn't realize, sometimes if you have show all, I had teachers today working in an archived course and they didn't even realize it was archived. And then when this changed, they were like, my course disappeared. It didn't actually disappear, it just is archived. So you can tell which ones are, so the kids should be able to get back in and be able to find that information from first semester too. So, any other questions, comments, things to share?
Just that it's wonderful.
I like it too.
It's one of those, Spring Branch embraces new things on a pretty regular basis. And I think this is a new thing that is a good thing to embrace. I think it's made, well, for a lot of reasons, I think it's made my teaching, at least, a lot more seamless. Like I said earlier, I'm not digging around in my computer trying to figure out, okay, where did I put this file? What did I do with it? Or a year ago, wait, I know I used it, but I can't remember where I parked that thing. And then in the meanwhile, I've had a complete re-imaging of my computer. And
Right.
this kind of goes back to what I was saying earlier about Google. It lives in the cloud, so I can leave my computer here, go home, get my Mac out, work on the same thing I was working on here on my Mac, and it's no big deal. I don't have to drag a computer back and forth, which is really nice. And I think too, especially because I teach juniors and seniors, this is what they're going to be experiencing in college. Maybe not exactly this, but they'll tell you, I constantly say, you need to learn now how to own your own stuff. And if it's there for you, you need to find it. Like I said, that emoticon with or emoji, whatever you call them, with the two dots and the flat line for the mouth, that's what you're going to get from me these days. If you ask me when something is due and it's already out there for you. So I think it's cool because it's giving them an opportunity to practice independence.
Hey, I'm online. Run away. Oh my. So, okay, well, we'll shut it down a little early today then, especially since I have a kindergartner that's about to drive me bonkers. And if you have any questions, we are meeting a week from Monday at, I'm not sure, let's look it up. Spring Sherpa show. At Northbrook High School. So Northbrook will be hosting us on January 23rd, Monday. And it'll be 4 to 5, same thing, hoping that we'll get some people, questions, sharing what they're doing in their courses like Becky and Paul today, and we appreciate their being with us today. So thank y'all.
Is that how you spell deer?
Okay, I actually had some questions from out in the world So I'm just trying to figure out how to get everything back. Oh, there I am back. Okay. And hopefully we're going to get some questions texted in. Yes, they may have left when we turned off. Let's see what happens. Well, we're trying to figure out. I had a 5-year-old manning my phone, so text did not quite come through. Can we share our course? Okay, girls, I assume that you're talking about courses that come from Skyward. And the simple and fast answer is no. Right now, It's Learning doesn't have a way for us to open up sharing courses with teachers without them being able to share it with students as well. And to keep the validity, I guess, or I don't know what the right word is there, for the rostering from Skyward, we don't really want teachers enrolling kids that aren't their kids, because then you just get a big mess. So what I would suggest, and what I've been having folks do, is create a sandbox for, oh, nope, we want you to look at a course we created. Ha ha. Okay, well tell me what the course name is. This is so funny. Okay, tell me what the course name is. I'll finish telling this. If you want to have a course that's shared among a lot of teachers, create a sandbox course or a collaborative course. And then if you are all a member of that course, you can share content from your Skyward course into that course, and then those other teachers can then access your content from there. Or you can build in that course and share it out. Okay, so they wanted me to look at a course called MDE 3rd Grade LA. So I'm going to go find this course. MDE 3rd Grade. Oh. Girls, you can call me too. I'll answer. Oh, look, I'm in it already. Okay. So this is a collaborative course that they are using for 3rd grade to help build. So now, what do we want to do now that we're looking at it? Do we have a question about this? Look, this is bonkers. I'm gonna call these girls who are watching. This is the first time that we've had folks from the outside watching, so I'm super excited, but it's just going to be a little bit.
I just called you.
Yay! Okay, so we have them on the line. We're just technical difficulties. We're going to make this work. Okay.
Okay, but what you're talking to and what's happening on the screen are two different things.
Because there's a lag. So there's a little bit of a lag. So.
So weird. Okay, we're gonna mute you then.
Mute me.
I'm muting you from the screen. Okay, well, I don't know. It just doesn't look user friendly. It just seems like we're just doing folders that people still have to get into and dig around. I just thought it'd be nicer if it was more like the boxes on the front.
Oh, okay. So you were thinking about using the dashboard instead.
Yeah, and like I tried to do the planner and just put in dates that a field trip, like I guess I did it under events. You can kind of see. I put
Right.
MLK Day, when you're taking them at PSA, so they can always be aware like these things are happening.
Right.
Through the month.
Okay, so Becky might be able to talk to this too, but I'm thinking that if, like, they are going to be in and digging around, but if you're using the planner, it might be friendlier if you had, like, if we added, maybe it's writing. So our topic would be writing. Or it could just be language arts. Maybe your topic, you could do a topic that's by week 1. And then maybe what you're looking for is to build a page
that's what
for
I
each one of those things. So we're gonna add a page. The plan is writing. I mean, these boxes the names don't mean anything. You need it whatever you just make it whatever you want. And then this is writing plans for week 1. And then over here, add a resource and go to create new and a page. And a page is going to let you build out what you want. And maybe it's not, maybe you just have one page for all of week 1 and you make a rich content that is writing. And then you put, you just put all your lesson plans for writing there. And then you add another page, another content block that's for reading for the week. And then you can move, and then they can grab it from there.
And you can also change the layout if you wanted to.
Yeah, you could change the layout so it's that's the 2 columns or whatever.
Yeah.
Would that work a little better?
I
Do you
guess
think?
so. And then I guess when I started doing the lesson plan for like writing for reading last week, I was like, day 1 do this, but it's like I had to create a Word document and then I had to download it onto It's Learning. It's like I couldn't create it in It's Learning, and then it was like, oh, might as well be like Google Docs, you know?
What does your document look like? The Word document you were loading in?
Oh, it's on there. Maybe Crystal can click
Which
on it.
week is it in?
Week 1. And everything looks really fuzzy right now, so it's hard for me to see.
Oh, yeah, we're going to have to talk to our tech guys about that. It's coming through fuzzy, huh? Darn it.
Yeah, but it wasn't before. Can you go back to our page? Our course?
We're in your course. Okay, do you know
Oh,
literary nonfiction week 1?
Yeah.
Okay.
I can't see, so I don't know where to. So any of those are Word documents? Yeah, we had to create Word documents and then transfer them over.
Okay, so
Oh, is that because, so is that the way that your campus expects for you to do your lesson plans, or is that just how you do it?
No, it was just the way we were doing it, just because I'm an instructional specialist, so people are coming with the ideas, as me kind of just flushing it all out and me saying, these are the important things you need to hit this week.
Gotcha.
I also wanted them to be more collaborative so they could add resources or books that they're reading or a different way to teach that TEK.
the way this looks and the way you have it set up, you could use a note. So the note, like you did right here for week 2 lesson schedule, excuse me, it's that same linear, and you can add pictures and everything in. So that may be more along the lines of what you're looking for, so you're not always importing. But the way that y'all are using the course right now, that's kind of what the purpose is to have it all in one place.
Yeah.
Because you're not building content for kids. So right now you're like, what's the difference between using this and using just Google Drive and having a folder? And there's really not, because you're putting in resources for teachers. What would be the difference is if some of this you were building out as an actual course for kids to have access to.
Yeah, that's what we want to do, because we want to combine like what's happening, because we're doing like literary nonfiction, biographies, and we could use social studies. So we could create a course using social studies TEKs with the reading and writing TEKs and flesh that out to kids.
Is it required that people use the planner, or is it just required?
No, we're just being rebels and doing it anyway.
No, that's okay, because that's what Stratford's doing. The reason I'm asking is because there's a second way. Some people, I know at Stratford, I found with some teachers, the planner it's just too much. There's just too much going on there. And they'd rather not go that route, so instead, they just go and they build directly in the tree, which is what I'm doing with my AP kids, because we don't have the same kind of lesson plans. Like ours is, it's not the same. So rather than going into the planner and building my tree out through my planner, I just build directly into the tree. So if you'll notice down at the, and you may already know this, so stop me if I'm being redundant, but down at the bottom of each like folder section, there's a little green button that says add.
Yeah.
If you click that, it gives you the same options that you get inside the planner. So you're just building your tree from there, and so
But
what
she did, because all of this is from
Is from-
the tree.
is from the tree, built from the tree and not in the planner?
Right.
Oh, okay, so. I
So,
didn't know that.
but you're gonna have to think social studies first, and then, so you're doing, you've got dual purposes here. One is to be collaborative with resources and with what everybody's teaching, and the second is to build model lessons in the platform that they can then go and put in where their kids are. So,
Right.
in that case, like we'll have to really look at what the TEKs are and everything. I mean, you're just going to have to do some kind of forward thinking and some backward planning, like what is the social studies activity we're going to do? How are we going to have the kids be doing that on their own? What resources and everything? And then I would definitely go the planner route with that, because it's easy to copy. You can put dates on there, and it'll be easy to move over, and it'll be easy for the kids to access.
So we could actually build a plan for the teachers, but thinking about how we can just create another course, like copy this course for kids.
Right. So right now, like you could take all of this, and over here you could. I mean, adding these are just very general terms. A topic can be anything, but this could be social studies, or right here in this planner, you have week 1, and then maybe you have language arts, and then you can just add a plan that's social studies. And you would know that this one is actually the plan for students.
Yeah.
So over here, you put your objectives, and then you start adding your resources.
Okay.
Like you might want to have an instruction page. So that could be a page, or that could be a note, depending on how you want your instructions to go. And then maybe that page, and I can show you some, but probably not in the short time that we have left today. But where they have the objectives for the kids, they've got a reading for the kids, and we actually have a link to Studies Weekly, so you could put that link on there. That's single sign in for the kids. Excuse me. That takes them out to Studies Weekly, so they don't have to log in twice. And then you just kind of think, what do I want the kids to accomplish in social studies during this week or during this unit? And you build it here, and then the teachers can just say, okay, I want just this social studies plan to go into my course for my kids. So they click the social studies plan, click copy, and then copy it into their course, their Skyward course, because their kids are already going to be there. You have a quiz in there, you have your assignment because you want them to build their Indian dioramas. I mean, they can build that off and then put a picture of it into an assignment so the teachers can grade it, and then tie it to the TEKs and everything.
So could I do a Google slideshow? And
Oh,
put it
yeah.
on there?
Okay.
So what you could do is maybe you build it for them, build a class one, and then you share the link here. What's nice about that, like with a Google slideshow,
Go to mine if you don't mind, because I've got that. I actually did that today.
okay, so let me see if I can find Becky's. You would just share the link with them,
There it is.
but you actually,
There you go.
this one, you can actually also embed that link where they can work on it in itslearning.
So
Okay.
if you go over to literary term slideshow over on the tree.
There it is.
And just
I have one question. There's a question from Haley. Can you print a note?
Yes.
Okay.
okay, click that. It just occurred to me I didn't give you permission. But you have administrator rights, right?
Yes.
Okay.
Okay, so see, here's hers. So what she's done is she just has a page, and the only thing on this page is this. Excuse me. And then when you click it, it takes them to that slideshow that they're going to be building. And look, she left notes for them. The other option is
I embed. Now the ones I teach with, I embed.
to go, I just took that link from that slideshow, and I'm going to click add here. And instead of doing a page or anything, I'm just going to do a link. And I'm going to cross my fingers that this works the way that I want it to.
I think I've done that before.
And see how it has this little box right here, embed page within itslearning. When we hit save, it's going to pop that up here, so the kids don't actually have to leave the platform. They
And
can
then just
actually,
type on top of that.
yes, if
Yeah.
you have given them rights to it, you have to make sure you share it with them, but as long as you've given them rights to it, they don't have to leave. They can do it right here. They don't have to go out, which is nice for
Yeah.
littles because then they get, then they don't have all these tabs and everything.
Okay.
I'm gonna now delete this, Becky. I was just randomly building in somebody else's course.
That's okay.
So,
Can you go back to our dashboard?
yes,
That Google, was it a Google Calendar?
yes.
How do you put that in?
If you go,
Because that would work for us.
do you have a Google, so if you go to your Google Calendar, do you have a Google Calendar started?
Yes.
Okay, so if you go to that,
I'm just being slow.
and then you're going, yeah, you know what to do.
Yeah, share this calendar. And then make sure that you have this checked. And then if you want it to be outside of SBISD, like you wanted parents to have access to it or whatever, you'd say make it public. And then
Okay.
save it. And then, sorry, when I saved it, it threw me out of there. So I'm going to go back to share this calendar. And then, oh, Becky, where is
I
it?
go to settings. I always go to calendar settings, but I'm sure there's another. There you go.
Here it is.
There
So
it is.
calendar details, and then here's an embed code. So you copy and paste the embed code. So copy the embed code. So I just copied it. I'm not really going to do this. But on her block, when you open a rich content block,
Yeah.
you have that source, or you
Yeah.
use the embed.
I use the embed.
Either way, you can use this embed, or you can click source and you can paste the embed code in the source.
And if you go in,
Okay.
once you put that in there, you can modify the size, and I figured, at least for me, the way that I have mine set up, the width is 500, and that fits on there. I think
Yeah.
the width is 500.
If it ends up being not the right size, going back into the source code, you can find the height and width and change that in
Yeah.
here.
I go into, I think that's why I use the embed, because if you right click on the embed and do edit,
Ah,
it's a little more, I don't know. I know where it is in that box.
right. This
So
box is not quite as confusing.
Scroll down a little bit, there it is.
See the
It's
width
always,
and
like,
height
right at the
rainbow.
bottom. Okay, so I have it at 800. But she's probably.
Well, mine is, it's just small on my screen or something.
No, but I mean, I'm
Oh.
just saying, I was saying 500. The Google slideshows that you see in there are set at 500 width.
Okay.
And slideshows can be embedded the same way. You can go to File, Publish to the Web. And if you do embed and you hit Publish, it'll give you an embed code. Just make sure you share it. I thought that publishing it to the web shared it, and I think that it used to. I honestly think this is something that changed. But then all of a sudden nobody could see any of my stuff in It's Learning anymore that I had published to the web, so I had to go back and change the sharing settings. So sharing both places, but that's how you can get an embed code for that.
Okay. Okay, so can you investigate something for me? So Texas Treasure, which is our state adopted textbook, has a computer, like their textbook's online, and there's a code for Spring Branch ISD.
Right.
And there's some there's some good short biographies in there that would be beneficial for the kids to read. Like we were going to create a course for them.
Right.
Do you know how I can put a link in there? Did you figure that out for me?
How to embed Texas Treasures. Yes. Look, I'm making a note.
In your free time?
Yeah, I'm gonna have to stop eating. I actually ran out of bonbons today. I had some in my. I've been eating one a day. I ran out, so now my bonbon eating time, I'll do Texas Treasures.
Okay. I don't know. It could be. I mean, instead of saying go to the textbook and read page 42,
Right.
it'd be better.
I mean, I
if they
think it
could just
depends
cover-
on what we've purchased. So, girls, I'm going to send this to you really quickly. This is Adding Studies Weekly Resources to It's Learning.
Yeah, we want that.
It's
Fine for kids. I don't know if we should get that.
So this is, everything is shared in the library, so it's a little bit of a different process, but I'm gonna send this to y'all. real quick.
Okay. Thank you.
You're welcome. All right, I'm so glad y'all are here. Thank you for joining.
Yay! We've been here a lot longer. And then I saw Peach. It's like, let's text Peach.
Yes, Peach has been playing with my phone and is coming in and out of the screen. There you are. Okay.
Okay, awesome. Thank you.
You're welcome. Okay, so grab some friends for next Monday.
Okay.
No, Monday
we have
after
a new
next.
teacher. She'll come. Catherine. We have a new teacher.
Yay! Get her in.